In the years from 1939 to 1945, the world was engulfed in the storm of World War II, a conflict that would redefine nations and deeply alter the lives of millions. Among the myriad struggles was a war fought not just on battlefields, but in factories and skies, where air superiority became a crucial determinant of victory. At the heart of this clash, the Allies, led by the United States and Britain, realized that controlling the skies over Europe was essential for their military strategies. The production lines became as vital as the front lines. The factories turned into sanctuaries of hope against the dark shadows of oppression. This is a story of how factories, fuel, and the P-51 Mustang marked a pivotal transformation in the air war, impacting not just the context of battle, but the very fabric of society itself. As Germany launched its war machine in 1939, it utilized a centralized food rationing system that prioritized soldiers and selected groups over ordinary civilians. The government ensured a minimum level of food security, but this came at a cost that created stark inequalities. Civilians faced ongoing hardships as their bread became scarce, while military supplies surged. This tension would echo throughout the war, creating desperation on the home front even as the army advanced. Meanwhile, the Nazi regime employed cunning financial strategies, systematically counterfeiting the currencies of occupied nations to destabilize economies. This economic chaos rippled through Europe, leading to inflation and sanctions that would haunt Germany in the post-war years. The misuse of power to exploit not only fellow nations, but also one's own citizens formed a backdrop of despair against which the Allies were preparing their response. In this turbulent environment, the Axis powers, bound by the Tripartite Pact, showcased their military alliance through grand public celebrations. It was a performance of might and ideological unity, masking the fractures beneath the surface. As the Axis sought to project strength, London quietly became a hub for European governments in exile, an act of profound resistance against tyranny. These governments, from Norway to Poland, began to articulate visions of a united Europe, fostering friendships across borders as they envisioned what peace could bring if and when liberation arrived. But the war escalated, and starting in 1943, the Allies turned their attention towards Germany's industrial heart and urban centers. Bombing campaigns shattered cities, leaving enormous urban wastelands where vibrant communities once thrived. The architectural heritage, often a reflection of national pride, disintegrated under relentless bombardment. Millions were displaced, their identities torn apart by the violence of war. Overhead, the sky transformed from a free expanse into a deadly battleground, where bombers met fighters in a fierce competition for dominance. Each bombing raid was not just about destruction. It was a calculated effort to undermine German resistance and the industrial capabilities crucial to its war effort. The physical repercussions were staggering, but they also served a strategic purpose. In early 1944, Operation Big Week marked a significant turning point in the air war. The United States Army Air Forces and the Royal Air Force joined forces to launch massive daylight raids on German aircraft factories. These missions crumbled the Luftwaffe's capability to mount an effective defense, effectively handing the sky back to the Allies. With every raid, the Allies drew closer to achieving air superiority, the key to their future offensives. A pivotal development in this campaign was the introduction of the P-51 Mustang, an aircraft that would revolutionize air combat and enhance the effectiveness of Allied bombers. With its long-range escort capability, the P-51 allowed the bombers to fly deep into Germany without crippling losses. Suddenly, they could strike at the heart of the enemy's industrial capabilities, hitting those factories pivotal for war supplies. It was as though a protective shield had extended over them, dramatically increasing not just their offensive reach, but also their survivability. This was not merely an upgrade in military equipment. It was a transformative moment that embodied the shifting tide of the war. Simultaneously, the Allied air strategy evolved to target oil refineries and critical rail networks. Operations aimed at these sectors choked off the fuel supplies essential to the German war machine. Ploiesti in Romania became a significant focal point. The lifeblood of panzer divisions was being severed. By late 1944, the German military was unprepared for the consequences. fuel shortages led to canceled training flights and impacts on tank operations, leaving once mighty divisions unable to navigate the battle space. The Luftwaffe, instead of dominating the skies, could no longer effectively contest Allied air supremacy. It was a strategic maneuver that fundamentally weakened Germany at a critical moment in the war. As urban areas became battlegrounds, the cost of war became all the more apparent. The Allied strategy, while effective, brought devastation to cities like Breslau, known today as Wrocław. The siege of this urban center led to catastrophic destruction, mirroring the wider carnage across Europe. In the aftermath, displaced populations faced an uncertain future. Ethnic Germans were expelled, while Poles resettled in the remnants of a city reshaped by war. These human stories, the families torn apart, the communities shattered, became the somber legacy of the conflict. The technical strategies employed in factories and the skies deeply intertwined with personal histories of loss and resilience. As the war progressed, the very structure of Europe began to unravel. 6 European monarchies experienced profound transformations, many reduced to mere figureheads in the chaos of the war's conclusion. The democratic legitimacy that emerged in various nations became a crucial marker for post-war stability and recognition. Small states faced choices fraught with danger. Some resisted the tide of fascism, others collaborated, and still more were simply overrun. The landscape was both bloodied and dynamic, shaped by ideological battles and the shifting sands of power. The Nazi regime's dark legacy was revealed not just across borders, but within their own legal frameworks. Special courts, or Sondergericht, enforced draconian laws to suppress resistance, serving the interests of a government struggling to maintain control. What began as military expansion transformed into a campaign of oppression, echoing throughout occupied territories. In Romania, for instance, the Nazis' anti-Semitic policies found fertile ground, exported through a twisted network of influence, further complicating the war's moral fabric. Yet amid this despair, the war also seeded the birth of a global refugee regime. Millions found themselves displaced, pulled from their homes by the inescapable tide of conflict. International organizations began to emerge to address their plight, a fragile lifeline in a world turned upside down. In neutral countries like Sweden, resourcefulness defined daily life, as marketing and consumer behavior adapted to the shadows of total war. By the war's end, the experiences of horror and hope would shape the collective memory of nations. The legacy of World War II sparked a surge in support for democratic ideals and social welfare in Western Europe. This groundwork paved the way for future cooperation, culminating in European integration. The profound sacrifice witnessed in battle became a foundation upon which countries sought to rebuild their futures, united in determination to never again allow such a catastrophe. As we reflect upon this turbulent chapter, we encounter questions that resonate in the corridors of history. What lessons can we draw from the unfolding of these aerial campaigns and industrial transformations? How do the narratives of resilience and ruin inform our understanding of identity and community in the face of overwhelming odds? Factories, fuel, and the P-51 in the grand tapestry of World War II were not merely mechanisms of war. They were indicators of destiny, altering the very course of nations. In contemplating this pivot of air power, we confront a profound truth. Even amidst violence, hope persists, a beacon in the darkness, relentless in its journey forward.